This is a guest version of Whack-A-Mole number 54, like 1954, the year the Stratocaster guitar was invented.
Wait, I thought it was 1950.
1954.
Oh, okay.
Was the Stratocaster. I don't know. I mean, Leo Fender was doing Leo.
Yeah.
My pal Leo was doing other things before he didn't he do the Broadcaster? Or I don't know the history of that shit.
G&L guitars after the CBS buyout, right?
Well, that was late. That was in the 60s when he sold it to CBS. Yeah, I don't know.
And then G&L started making it.
Whack-A-Mole. We got Archivist is back here,
Hi,
guest
BC.
appearance, and her friend and a mutual acquaintance. We've met a couple times.
Yeah.
Is Zache? Zache's in town from L.A., Los Angeles, working on a record. You want to tell me about your band?
Yeah.
Come here.
You gotta get up there.
We're going to pull some now. Just to remind you, when we do the guest Whack-A-Mole, we don't pull random, and we just hang around and
just pull.
Yeah, we just pull. We yank them.
Yeah. In a band called Weird Numbers. 3/4 of the band lives in Seattle, which is very inconvenient.
I didn't know that.
For me. But it actually works because I was actually telling someone the other day, the problem with being in a band is just like you rely on other people. But being in a band where 3 of the people live in another city, they're very reliable because they know that you flew to see them. So band practice never gets canceled. When we practice for 4 or 5 hours, whatever. But we're recording a record, our first LP down at Kilroom Studios in Georgetown.
Where is that on Airport Way or behind?
No, it's on. It starts with a C. It's like right above Boeing, basically.
So do you eat at? Have you been to Brothers? There's a
I've
little
never,
bar.
Yeah, I know where Brothers is. I've never actually been there.
What it is, it's switched about 5 years ago, and it's hot wings and chicken things. We're gin martini guy.
Wrong tube.
But it's amazing. Do you like spicy food?
Of course.
Well then, but I get the mild. The mild's too spicy. But
Okay.
It's a small little bar. The Archivist probably can't go in there. Because it's chicken too. But that's one reason. She's a vegetarian. But anyway, since you're down there, it might be something to
We
check
had
out.
pho yesterday, and then we had Mexican food the day before. Even though I protested.
You don't like Mexican food? Oh,
No,
you're in
I
LA.
don't. Why am I going to come? Why am I?
Okay.
I want to eat Asian food when I'm here.
Tell me this. I moved here. It took me 6 months to find good Mexican food in Seattle. There was no good Mexican food in Seattle. Fonda Katrina is actually pretty good, but it's not like LA or San Francisco, the Mission, or especially LA. So, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna say where we ate because I don't want to shit talk the restaurant, but it was Fonda Katrina, and
I like Fonda
And
Katrina.
actually, I think their food's probably good. I just ordered the wrong thing. I had chicharron tacos, and I was like, it wasn't what I was feeling. The ceviche was good. I mean,
You went to one next door, the Syria.
No, we went there last night, and
okay.
I will say I had a tostada de pulpo yesterday, and it was.
What I like
delicious.
at Fonda Katrina is their chicken mole. Their mole is really good.
Okay.
So, but it's not like the taquerias in San Francisco, especially LA.
Yeah,
But
I mean, I don't want to be the New York pizza guy that's like, oh, it's but I also like when I'm in Seattle, there's amazing Vietnamese food. I mean, we have it in LA too. You just have to drive to Alhambra.
We're going to talk music eventually, so just bear with us here. But you're from Seattle, right?
I grew up here. I'm from Oakland originally.
Oh, okay.
But basically from here.
But I can't find, and this sounds, everyone thinks I'm crazy when I say this, I can't find really good Chinese food here. There's a lot of Chinese, and everyone says, oh, go to this place, and it's kind of bland or not right. There's no Hunan at all.
Have you been to Honey Court?
I don't know. I don't think so. Where's that?
International District.
Well, I remember that name, Honey Court.
Honey Court it's the jam.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
Speaking about the jam.
The jam!
We got to show records. People want to see records.
Yeah.
So, HIJ. I'll just show them while you're. If you want to pull records and just talk about them,
Okay.
that's kind of what we do.
I don't even know where to start.
Right? It's very overwhelming. It's hard.
I can't find fucking.
Have you been watching that? Did you watch that Grateful Dead documentary?
I did.
I don't enjoy them as a band.
The
but
4-part
I love
documentary, you mean?
Yeah, A Long Strange Trip.
Yeah, it was good.
I love that.
Well, see, I grew up in San Francisco, so I used to go see the Jam all the time.
Okay.
So.
The jam?
The Grateful Dead.
I was gonna crack.
Yeah.
we
See, that's what happens.
like,
We knew what you were
This
talking
is the
about.
fucking jam.
The Jam. This is the modern world, the Jam. This is a promo copy. where it says audition programmers, please audition side 2, band 1 before airing. What does that mean? Side 2, band 1? I know what it means, but in the street today, are there like bad words on that? I don't even remember. Oh, we need to get a little more better
Oh,
light.
sorry, am I not supposed to swear?
You can swear. I swear all the time. People write because they hate when there's like 2 guys that hate when I say fuck.
Oh.
Fucking
But
hell.
you know, it's my channel, my rules. I appreciate it, and that's why I click the warning, not for children. Not for children or people who don't like me saying the F word. And that's fine. I respect your opinion. I mean, promo copy, just clip corner. This is all mod cons. And then we got the gift. You know, I'm not a big fan. There is a promo. It is a promo copy there. I have a friend who gave me some wonderful Paul Weller solo records, but I don't know what it is. I don't love Paul Weller solo records.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, do you?
I don't really. I honestly am not that familiar with his solo stuff, but I don't.
And
there's a reason for
he's
that.
so big in the UK, and
Yeah.
he's never really caught on here as a
What was
as a solo
the
artist.
band he did?
Style Council.
Yeah, I kind of like
Yeah,
them.
they're
I
kind of
like
cool.
them.
I mean, okay.
They have there's a, I don't know, like a channel on some streaming service for Style Council, which I actually got into. I played it pretty hardcore for a few months.
I love
last year or something.
In the movie, the Julian Temple film, Absolute Beginners, there's a great Style Council song of that. Now, do you mind if I... Can you come over just 1 second? We got a request last time. People wanted to know what your tattoo was here.
Oh.
Look at that. It's a record player. Is it any particular record player? It's one of those suitcase record players, right?
It is. I was traveling and talking about music when I got it, and that's what I did for a job. So it seemed appropriate, and it's actually a combination of 2 different suitcase record players. The artist, like, kind of combined the things I liked about each one into this one, and there you have it.
And it's not a Crosley for your snooty record people there.
Yeah, it's not a Crosley. It's a custom. It's a custom job.
Which
That
one's
one.
yours? Do you know?
I believe the one on the right.
Okay.
I just pulled out John Prine. I don't know how often you talk about John Prine here in the VC, but
VC is a vinyl community.
Okay.
I think everyone
It's like this
should
loose
have at
community. It's not
least
like a club or anything.
Sweet Revenge in your collection, because this album is phenomenal. Pretty much anything he's done has been pretty great. I mean, Fair and Square was actually one of my favorite
reason.
John Prine records.
Okay.
You know,
I would have to say, but Sweet Revenge, ooh, that's a good one.
I got a lot of free, so I had about 5,000 or 6,000 albums.
I can't
I have
even
about that
list
now,
all the good songs on
but
this.
I sold about 2,000.
The Stunner,
Oh,
Christmas in
so these are
Prison.
the- you know,
I
Yeah.
mean, you
That's in
know,
my generation.
can't go wrong with
Fuck
that.
the sound of
This
that.
one, Sweet
Yeah,
Revenge,
these are better, but now I-
1973,
at least I
really,
didn't get
really
it
great.
wrong. But, like,
Diamonds in the
records,
Rough,
like
can't go wrong
Primo,
with that one.
Led Zeppelin record,
this
you know,
was
things that I
72.
reissued
This is
now in some
a-
cases, or I-
Yeah.
The
I
Tree
find
of
them used, but
Forgiveness,
now you use them more.
more recent
crazy.
album. This
I'm not like a
was
super big stickler about
just last
like,
year.
reissues. 'Cause I mean,
I don't mind it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I don't
It
mind it.
depends.
It
John
depends. Yeah.
Prine.
There's some that are really
Always a good time.
And so.
I got like an original copy of Dots and Loops by Stereolab, and it was the most money I ever paid for a record.
We were just talking about, Zach and I were talking about reissues versus originals, and he's kind of, you don't mind reissues, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I mean, my record collection is about like a fifth of this size.
Well, it's not quantity, it's quality.
Oh, definitely. My quality is a little off because my father passed away and I inherited half of his collection, and my brother and I split it up. I took most of the Beatles, which was great, and then I took like a lot of funk, which is great. But then I also have like, I know this is probably gonna hurt some people's feelings,
And
but
I'll
I have a
probably
lot
have it
of Steely Dan, and I don't really.
I
care
love
for
Steely Dan.
I mean, I appreciate them. It's just not my jam.
Steely Dan paid my rent for a year and a half, not exactly. I worked for ABC Records.
Oh.
When I left retail records, I got a job at ABC, and for 2.5 years I worked for ABC, and the 2 big acts that I loved working were Steely Dan and Tom Petty. It was
Okay.
Tom Petty's second album, Listen to Your Heart, that album, but Steely Dan was, what album? It was the Greatest Hits album, and they kind of went in a hiatus. And I like Steely Dan. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike them. It's just not something I listen
They're a band that people love to hate because they're like slick and LA and studio musicians and everything. And I totally get. I'm not a snooty. I love snooty stuff. Like I'll pull a fucking Carpenter's record out of there.
Fuck yeah.
You know, once in a while. But one thing I didn't get into, I did it a little while. The other big act that we had when I worked for ABC was Jimmy Buffett. Wasting Away in Margaritaville. It wasn't my thing, but I get it. I get
Popular
it.
karaoke song. It always makes me leave the room.
Yeah. But the great thing about working for ABC, though, was ABC Impulse Jazz record catalog. I was able to get like Coltrane records and Art Blakey records and that shit. So, anyway.
Oh.
But anyway, we were talking about reissue because he said this was in good shape, and I told him it was a reissue.
Stooges, Funhouse. Always a classic. Yeah. This song, or this record always just reminds me of like the early 2000s when I was in my early 20s. And every time I'd be at a party and TVI would come on, I would generally like take off my clothes and jump around on the table and break things. Not in like a violent way, but in a violent way towards myself. Yeah, I don't know.
How very Iggy of you.
Yeah, I really wanted to be Iggy Pop when I was younger. I don't anymore. I mean, I still love him, of course.
Of course.
And I finally saw him live when he was doing that tour with Josh Homme. And they were doing my two favorite... Actually, my favorite record of all time is The Idiot. I didn't see it. Oh, I didn't look for Iggy Pop. Anyways.
I have Iggy Pop, yeah. Oh, shit.
The Idiot's like my favorite record.
I have that. But I have a picture of that he was telling at that party he went to. This is a picture of Zache at that party. This is a Maslowian flip.
Yeah, but is he circumcised?
No, he's not. He's not.
I'm circumcised.
We're not going to ask you to prove it here. That would
No,
be,
I know.
We don't want to embarrass, and we don't want to get like, we don't want a Harvey Weinstein archivist.
No. Fair.
We shouldn't even joke. We shouldn't even joke about that. It's not funny.
No, it's funny on the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm when everybody.
Has that started yet?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
fuck.
won't spoil that for you.
Oh, well, you just did. But I love it. Okay. Oh yeah, show that. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay, this is yours or not? This is mine.
I think that.
Hi,
that yours?
VC.
I think so.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah,
Just
there we go.
ran across this beautiful Zombies box set, and it's signed. How cool is that?
This was signed by the band the day last year, a year ago, the day after they were inaugurated in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Did you see them at
I was in New York.
Yeah, cool.
I did not.
Okay.
I did not. I haven't seen them here.
I think that's where they played.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
R.I.P. The oddities, extras.
Wow, that's.
You can take it out of the plastic too. It's good because
Self-titled?
you don't get the reflection.
Yeah,
Is that original? That one's original.
I have
No,
it.
it's not.
I have an original.
I do have the original. The other one.
Self-titled.
Lust for Life.
Yeah.
Two favorite records.
Odyssey and Nordical. Very cool. Great box set. I've never seen this.
That just came out in the last couple years.
Nice. It says 2019, so it must have been last year. Excellent.
There you go.
Very
Was that
cool.
last year already?
Already. Your turn.
So I grabbed The Idiot by Iggy Pop, which is my favorite record of all time. I love like just even the cover of this. It kind of like how kind of fucked up he looks, but also that those streaks always make me think of cocaine lines. And I won't say why, but that's kind of what it looks like, right?
I'm sure, and it probably was.
Yeah.
Is this a Berlin record?
Yeah.
The boat-
yeah,
the
yeah.
boat-
That's one of the three, yeah.
Okay, this is part of the. Okay, right. Yeah,
But-
this is a reissue. I don't have this one, but I have Idiot as original.
You know, when I went to UCLA, I started a quarter early just over the summer to get like an early start. And I was taking a linguistics course because I'm a linguistics major. But I had to take like one other course to qualify to take this course. And I'm like, what am I going to take? And I found history of rock and roll. I'm like, oh, this is going to be boring. I'm going to be so bored. It was actually a really interesting class, but I wrote my final paper on mass production.
Wasn't Robert Hillman? Or,
No.
Hilburn.
No, he was
Robert.
he was
That's all
a
right.
PhD student. I forget Ben something, but Yeah, I wrote my final paper on mass production. Like it was like 7 pages long of me dissecting that song.
Okay, now I want to ask you
Badass.
this. I heard about this thing. Zache was a linguistic. Do you speak different, like how many languages?
I can sort of speak Spanish and French.
German though?
No, I mean I know words. I studied 6
Because
languages.
I thought it
Studied
would have been so cool. We have viewers from around the world. It would have been cool since this was one of the Berlin records to talk in German. Like if I said, "Kann ich Ihnen helfen? Was ist das un Disc?" I don't know. It's like I just bastardized every fucking language.
Yeah?
What would you say about this record in German? You can't.
Das ist sehr gut. Appenstock. Appenstock, I think is what it is. Like ape strong. Appenstock. I don't know. My German is not very. I've been to Germany a lot, and I know some slang like Appenstock or whatever it is. But you know, wo ist der Appenplatz? I don't know.
En español, hablo español, ¿sí?
Yeah.
Sí. Okay, so yo hablo español, pero muy poquito, because necesito hablar en la ciudad de San Francisco, vive en la misión, todas personas hablan español, and that's all I can say.
Hablan.
Hablan. See, I can't conjugate my verbs or do any of that kind of shit.
Gotta get on the conjugator.
Okay, I'm going to show this just because. Apparently, just last week, Dave Clark from Dave Clark 5. Now, Dave Clark 5 was the first rock and roll concert I ever saw at the Circle Star Theater in San Carlos, South San Francisco. They reissued a double album or a CD or something of Dave Clark. Dave Clark is probably one of the biggest wankers in rock and roll because he owns all the rights, all the licensing, great businessman, but a wanker in terms of allowing, there's a whole generation that he lost to getting into the Dave Clark 5 because they, except for one greatest hits, I believe, they never put any of the albums out on compact disc. But those first albums, they were the first band that was really the rivalry with the Beatles. Way before the Stones, like a year before the Stones, kind of came onto the American scene and other, at least from an American point of view. So I'm just going to quickly show you stereo and mono, a lot of the Dave Clark 5 albums I have. I still love them. Glad All Over, Bits and Pieces. I mean, Mike Smith, what a great vocalist and organ player. They don't know what I'm talking about. They don't give a shit about Dave Clark 5. These kids don't understand this kind of British rock and roll there.
Actually, how do you feel about this song? Weenie Waivers. Does that offend you?
It does not offend
Do you think
There's a private conversation going on there about with the,
Yeah.
they've known each other for like 18 years or something. I've only known the Archivist for
I was
15
like,
years.
the song is about growing out of being a weenie waiver. Like the chorus
If you're-
is growing out
if
of our
you
weenie
end up-
waivers with excessive flatulence.
I think if you become a better person by the end of the song,
Okay.
it's all good.
Bill Callahan. Smog.
Yeah, Smog. So this record, I discovered Bill in 2013 during an interesting time in my life. My dad was sick with cancer, and I discovered it like right when this record has so much, brings up so many memories. But moved into an apartment with my ex right around the time and packed to this record. But the night that I went and said goodbye to my dad, I was listening to this record at the airport, and I was actually delayed at LAX. And the song Winter Road, every time I hear it, I think about my dad. It's a great record, though. Not to bum everybody out. It's, there's another, think like the line, the only thing I said today was beer and thank you is one of the pivotal lyrics of our time.
Since he showed that, I'm going to show this Bill Callahan record is one of my favorite records of last year. I saw him at the what's that theater on 45th?
Neptune.
Neptune. Bill Callahan, who is basically his projects were Smog. The Archivist turned me on to Bill Callahan. Turned me on to this record. She did. I mean, this is one of her early mix CDs she gave to me. It had his version of In the Pines, great classic old traditional song. This is an amazing record, so I highly recommend it.
Definitely buy this record.
Yeah.
If you don't know it, don't own it.
Okay.
Do it.
Here, if there was a way for you to click onto Amazon to buy this record where the Archivist gets a cut of every sale, that should be a real thing. Jeff Bezos,
I prefer
Freudian. We're in Seattle. I think he can listen to us. I think Siri is. Hello, Siri. Oh no, he's the other one.
It's Alexa.
Alexa. No, Alexa's an antidepressant.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're just totally ruining your ability to be a pro spokesperson.
I want to be sponsored. I want my channel to be sponsored by Bezos Balls. Spheres. Do you know the Spheres in Seattle? It's really cool, actually, to drive by those.
Yeah.
But this is a beautiful, gorgeous record. He has this baritone-like voice, right, Zach? Isn't it kind of baritone?
Yeah, yeah, and he's very talky.
He's very
He is
talky.
very
Yeah.
sing-talky.
But his words are fantastic.
And he repeats.
He's an
He
excellent
repeats.
wordsmith.
He repeats lines a lot. I
Yeah.
will say.
Yes. But for great effect, not
She
in
was.
a tedious
She was a
manner.
bird. She
Yeah.
was a bird.
Yeah.
She was
America.
a bird. She was a bird.
And it's so.
She was a bird.
the
She was a bird.
change in
That's my
the
impression of.
pronunciation
Oh,
is
yeah.
so effective because it's repeated.
This is a live.
Is there purple
Live
Ooh.
at Third Man Records.
That's what I want.
Bill Callahan. I don't have all the Smog records. Oh, this is a good one too. Not as good as that other one, but this is really good. Smog. So, if you've watched this channel, the Archivist and I did a thing of how to file records away. This is the problem, not the dilemma.
Yeah.
I have Smog records under Smog. I have Bill Callahan records under Bill Callahan. There's a side of me
It's
that
a
wants.
constant battle.
Wait, hold on. We need to do one thing in slow motion here.
Oh, this song is perfect in the background.
They won't hear. We're doing a slow motion segment.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on? Okay. That was the bout of the century. Anyway, Red Apple Tree Falls. Okay. Oh, that's Oh,
So this is Purple Mountains. I actually have a confession. I didn't listen to Silver Jews or know who David Berman was until he died.
I'm Jewish.
Ah,
You are?
it's so weird.
But I'm adopted, so maybe I'm not really.
But
How did you not get?
I just never got into him. I mean, I knew who Silver Jews were, but when he died, I read a bunch about him, and I was like, wow, what a fascinating man. And then I listened to this record, and it, like, blew my mind. I think it was all the same day that the news came out that he killed himself, and I was like, what a sad... There's so much feeling in this, and I really identify with that. Not that I want to kill myself. But
Kids, do not kill yourself.
it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Suicide is painless. Not really. That's a MASH song, you know.
Okay. Sorry.
These kids don't know
Yeah.
that song.
This, but his, speaking of wordsmiths, he's genius with words.
Absolutely.
Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, like, when I tried to drown my thoughts in gin, I found my worst ideas know how to swim.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a great line.
It is a great line.
Now, I have a
And
question.
Silver Jews is filled with this.
You might know this, because the archivist might know this. I don't know this answer. To me, where the name Silver Jews comes from, excuse me. My past tense, my tenses are fucked up.
You're conjugating the wrong
The
word.
Beatles, it's always a Beatle connection. The Beatles, before the Beatles, they were called the Silver Beatles.
Huh.
And then they dropped the name. So I'm thinking he probably decided, like, the Jews, the Silver Jews, because the Silver Beatles. That's my guess. Write a comment here. I can fucking Google it before you even write a comment. But write a comment. Let me know if that is how he kind of got the name.
Interesting.
See,
Yeah.
I find the audience, the viewers here learn a shitload, or they teach me a shitload. They make comments here.
I love that.
It is great, right? Right.
Well, while these guys find some more records, I'll show you mine. I am a big Standells fan. Big Standells fan.
Okay.
And you can't go wrong with Standells, ever. And everybody knows it. But
Dirty Water.
Dirty Water is the classic. Everyone knows Dirty Water. But all of their records are pretty freaking great. These are Sunday's reissues of the originals. But this one is... Let's see. What are this? Animal Girl? That's a great song.
How is that Claypool Delirium?
Let's see.
Claypool Lennon Delirium. I haven't listened to
Right
it.
on Sunset
I like
Strip.
the yellow one.
Great
Better than the
song.
second. I saw
Trip to
them- I
Paradise.
never got into Prine.
It did some
Yeah, I didn't
cool
write-
covers.
He's a fucking
They did
Yeah.
He plays
Paint It
bass
Black.
like people play
Everybody's
guitar,
done
like
Paint
a
It
lot of,
Black,
like,
but that's a great
you know,
song,
it's
and
not
you
just
can really
background,
kind
it's
of.
just like this lead.
One of the things
Yeah.
I think
And
that
they're
makes
fun to get. They're like psycho,
it's kind of like the
Chloe, in a way.
litmus
They do
test of a
cover,
great,
20th
well-written
century
song is how many
Symphony
times it can be
Live,
Okay.
and Pink-
covered by
early-
different
early
people
Pink Floyd stuff.
and remade
fun, yeah.
to be their own and have it stand up in different genres and different singers and different bands kind of like make their own version. I think that is the way to tell if a song is like truly well written.
This is right down the street
Destiny
from my
Mucho
brother.
is kind of like one of those songs that's been covered like 1,000 times, and that's probably not an exaggeration. It's probably been easily recorded 1,000 times by 1,000 different bands, and it always stands up regardless of who's doing it, and I think that's really cool and kind of like a really good test.
I just have a reissue.
Anyway,
first, or that one now.
back to the Standells. Always a good time.
I'm sorry, which one?
Just songs.
Oh, yeah, I do. It's there.
This one is great because it does have Paint It Black. It does
Well, that's
have
a
Black
set-
Hearted
it's a
Woman.
70s. It's not
It
like a
has
60s. I think it came in 67.
Girl on the Moon
Did you see the Bird on the
and
Wire documentary?
Yes.
When he's in Tel Aviv and he's on an S and he starts crying.
let's see.
I took a Tinder date.
Sometimes good guys don't wear white.
Was
Story of my life.
It was our second date.
Right there.
I
And
was
Dirty
older
Water
man
as
and
well.
sobbing. Well, it's 'cause it was
Excellent.
right after he died.
Um,
And they
Such a
did
great,
the Silent Theater
incredible
on,
song
Fairfax.
and a great, incredible record.
Leonard Cohen movies. I'd never seen it. I was, like,
And
sobbing.
there's also
Wow. I didn't
cover
know.
of the Batman theme song, which was kind of a
Yeah,
thing
but
for a
it's like,
while,
you don't
which
know
I
Leonard
always
Cohen.
I thought that was really kind of a funny thing that bands for some reason did actually cover that song. Like,
Anything beyond
who
that is
else
not
did a
doing it.
cover of the Batman song besides the Standells?
It was written by Neil Hefti.
There was like a thing
Neil Hefti.
where different bands did covers of it for some reason. Do you remember? Are you aware that it became a thing? When it was...
Yeah, actually, because I played on the radio once on WMF. No, it wasn't WMFU. It was I have played on WMFU. It was for a Sirius radio station, as in like the Sirius radio or whatever.
Yeah.
Not
in
like
DC,
not funny.
Yeah. In DC, and the guy wanted us to. We did a Batman thing.
You did.
Yeah,
It's
and
a
I think
thing.
it had something to do with his. I wish. I'm sorry if you're out there. I don't remember. It was 2008.
Your hair's in the
Things
way.
happen. Sorry.
But
I want to see.
yeah, he made us do a na 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 na.
Yeah.
But then it was na 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 na, and then whatever his name was na na.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Weird. I mean, I don't really know why that became a thing, but it did. And if you look out in the netherworld, maybe somebody in the
netherworld.
VC can tell me why it was a thing. But there's a lot of weird covers of the Batman theme, and it appears on Standells Dirty Water. Weird.
Oh, wow. I feel like I'm grabbing a lot of obvious records, but whatever.
What you like? You're new here, so we don't.
I'm just grabbing
I
what
don't know
stands
your
out.
taste. I don't know your taste.
Well, you don't have the Stranglers or Wire,
I don't have Stranglers or Wire. So,
but
okay,
that's not all I listen to actually.
there's a thing in the vinyl community called
Wide-ranging.
VCLT. Called this is I didn't make this shit up.
Vinyl
It's
Collectors.
Vinyl Collectors Love Train, where people send you records.
Oh, that's
like,
rad.
Like used or
Yeah.
So you can send me Stranglers.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
The Raven is a great one.
You can okay,
is a
send
good
it to me,
Yeah.
or you can send me Wire. I don't have that first Wire.
I mean,
record.
actually, I don't
So
own
much
any
Wire.
Wire on vinyl, and I play in a punk-ish band, but I don't listen to a lot of punk.
Yeah.
I listen to like really, really sad, soft music and classical a lot, and jazz.
He's a softie.
Yeah, I'm really into lots of. Well, it depends on my mood. But at home, I listen to Stereolab. Stereolab's my favorite band.
Okay, I don't have any Stereolab, so send.
Oh,
Blowing it.
dots and loops.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that's the most money I've hit for a record.
By the way, you guys don't know this. One of the great, there's a great channel on the VC, Dots and Loops.
Okay.
And he really, the crux of his showings are old psychedelic psych music.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have a running joke. It's my own running joke, so they don't even know about it. But when I was growing up, we never call things psych. I never heard the fucking. I mean,
Yeah.
I know psychedelic, but we never called it. Oh, hey, I'm in a psych band. It was a fucking psychedelic band. We didn't shorten it. It's kind of like the schmucks who write comments in my thing and say, "Hey, Norm." I hate Norm. Norman's bad enough.
Yeah. Don't assume.
no
don't
offense.
assume that I want to
Yeah.
be called.
It's
something.
Maz or Mazzy because my last name is Maslov. So
Yeah.
I know I digressed there, but I took away from his.
Oh, no.
But it's a Jewish thing. Leonard Cohen and me were like symbiotic.
Twins.
Yeah.
We're like twins. One of us is alive.
Yeah. One of us cannot be wrong.
Right.
There's a Leonard Cohen joke.
There you
but
go.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I was
know,
gonna say something about not
Fire.
about Leonard Cohen, but about what were we talking about 2 seconds before that?
You're talking about you were into classical music
Dots and Loops.
Dots
Oh,
and
Dots and Loops. So there's a great
Sorry.
record store in Los Angeles in the Glendale area called Mono Records that a friend of mine, John Roller, owns. Shout out to Permanent and everybody else too. But on his Instagram, he'll post like whatever is going to be put out the next day at noon. And one day, I've been looking for Dots and Loops forever, and I'd had it on Discogs, and like the price dropped, blah blah blah, and I just never got around to buying it. One day I saw it, and I was like, I'm going. So I got there. There was like a line of like 6 people waiting to get in. And then what happens is he'll open the doors, he'll go around the counter, and he'll just dump the whole pile, whatever he posted the night before, out. And he dumped, and I just grabbed Dots and Loops, and I didn't even like think about like how much money I was about to spend. And I grabbed it, and I was like, oh, I got it. And then I looked, and I was like, okay, well, you grabbed it. And it's, a perfect condition, double LP. And of course, being me, the bumbling idiot that I am, I'm holding it and looking at other records, and it just like slinks out from my arm and drops on the ground. And I was like, you fucking idiot. But I still spent, the most money I've ever spent on a record. But it's I listen to that record. I listen to it once a week. It's always in my play pile.
So you didn't damage it.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. I mean, it's like very early '90s artwork. Fluorescent green. Not really anything I'm into, but like also definitely brings
All
me
of the
to like a
records are
point.
So good.
Oh yeah.
Every Chemical Chords, I think I played that like
Yeah.
a billion times when it came out.
That any one of their music, all their music transports me to such a specific time in the late '90s.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's a great box set, Oscillations from the Anti-Sun.
Yeah.
You can pick up on CD if you're not quite ready to take the plunge. check that out. It's a great box set.
I had one more thing about
No.
Stereolab.
Yeah.
The day that I left for my first ever tour in 2002 was the day that Mary died.
Ah, shit.
Yeah. So I had that.
Who's
connection.
Mary?
She was a member of Stereolab.
Yeah.
She was hit by a car on her bicycle,
Ooh.
I believe.
Ooh.
I believe, and I think her name's Mary too. So I could be
Okay.
a complete shithead. So.
How does I don't understand this? You got this album at Mono Records,
Yeah.
but how can that be?
What do you mean?
Stereolab at a Mono
I get
Records
it.
store.
I get it. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
She knows my shtick. I do shtick all the time. How to get a fucking Stereolab record at a Mono
Oh,
Records
Leonard
store?
Cohen though, great record.
Leonard
Yeah.
Cohen.
Okay, I'm showing these. These two records have nothing in common except they are two of my original records. Crazy Horse, which you know, who backed Neil Young, and
Germany, and now they're like our BFF like dads together.
Ralph Molina, Billy Talbot, Jack Nietzsche, Danny Whitten, the great Niels Lofgren, who probably most of you know from being a member of the E Street Band. But his solo records, have I shown this before on VC? Neil Young's solo record. I love this record. This is great. And the other record, which is an original UK, and I've showed this at like probably my punk thing, is an original UK Damned album. Beautiful record. I saw them when they came through San Francisco their first time.
Are they playing?
I can't remember. Is it the Mavuhe?
Don't think so.
Not
But
quite
I'm going
sure.
to go see them at Pappy and Harriet's.
Anyway,
and hopefully the world turn.
We'll be right back after this.
Hi.
Oh, hold on a second. Okay, I pushed the wrong button.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Okay.
So, I just found this. Didn't know this was in the collection. An Evening with Wildman Fisher. Probably not very well known. I don't know a ton about Wildman Fisher, but many years ago, when I was having like a huge Daniel Johnston phase, someone was like, "Oh, you gotta hear Wildman Fisher," and made me this really great cassette. Back when cassettes were still a thing, obviously. And so I got into Wildman Fisher through this cassette. It's not.
You actually got into him?
I think it's pretty amazing. And the same, like, different from Daniel Johnston, obviously. But
He's crazy like Daniel
really,
Johnston.
really. On the back, let me read this little thing to you. Wildman Fisher is a real person who lives in Hollywood, California. He used to be very shy. He didn't have any friends. One day, he decided to be more aggressive. He wouldn't write his...
This sounds like the description of the Joker. Joker.
He would write his own songs and sing to people and tell them he wasn't shy anymore. This is actually what it says. When he did this, everyone thought he was crazy. His mother had him committed to a mental institution twice. That's what it says on the back cover. It's pretty freaking amazing.
I get it, but oh wow, that's a beautiful cover.
It's really, truly
It's bizarre. It's on Bizarre Records.
an amazing experience, which I highly recommend.
Now, okay, I'm going to further this because, first of all, a Jewish boy always loves his mother. So this could easily be my friend Larry, who, God rest his soul. Actually, his mother looked nothing like that. But this record was, he's a protege of Frank Zappa and the Mothers, and on Bizarre Records, which was the offshoot label from Reprise, and Straight Records with Herb Cohen, who produced and managed Frank Zappa during this period. This is fucking wanky out there record. He did a record, which I don't have anymore, of him, like, I think part of it was recorded live. You'll love this. I think the cover maybe, I can't remember if it was recorded live or he's out there on the cover picture live there at Dodger Stadium. My name is Larry, I have and that's basically it. So my buddy Larry, who is, God rest his soul, gave me this John Lennon autograph, used to be in the wild, you can't see. Fuck. John Lennon, 1975. Okay, God. Fucking archivists have to, like, all of a sudden really archive things. It has to be precise. So, look at that.
It's a great experience. Probably.
it's whacked.
You may or may not agree.
No, I mean it's an acquired taste. How is that acquired taste?
Yeah.
Since we're on that field, the acquired taste on the VC, people either love or hate. What's his name? Captain Beefheart. Now, Captain Beefheart. I'll go through my little collection here. People, this is like considered one of the coolest, bizarre, rarest albums. There's been reissues now. Third Man Records just did a reissue. That's what's his name? Jack White. Jack White. 1, 2, 3. Jack White.
Jack White.
Did a reissue of that. This is not an original. I've said this before. I bought this record the week it came out. The week after it came out, I returned it. I did not fucking.
You could return a record because you were like this.
You know, I probably stole it. I probably stole it from Woolworths. I stuck it in my coat, and then I returned it and got my $3.79 back.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not.
The man.
I hardly ever stole anything. I really. But anyway, however, like 10 years later, when I worked in record stores, all of a sudden people would play this and they'd talk about, and I fell in love with it. It is an acquired taste. This record, is this her first record, Safe as Milk? This is a reissue. But you know who was in this band? My favorite guitar player you don't even know this. My favorite guitar player in the world is Ry Cooder.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh?
He's got like every right to that.
Ry Cooder soundtrack, Ry Cooder record, Ry Cooder autograph.
Nice.
I mean, to me, he's like the bomb. If I could play guitar like anyone, he plays every string instrument.
Full circle.
Yeah.
He's a jam.
And I think was it Steve Carlson did a thing on this. He finally got into this album. He was signed to a different label. I'm blanking out what label. One of the big labels. Is it Atlantic maybe? I forget. And of course they heard like the first track and the label drops them before the album. But it's very bluesy. But this was. He wanted to do it like, you remember that candy bar, Abba Dabba or something?
Yeah.
Does that look familiar?
Yeah, no, it's Abba those are great.
And I didn't
names.
realize that. But
Yeah, they're really bad for you.
the great story I like is when they were about to go on tour and
Abba Zaba.
Abba Zab.
Abba Zaba, that's it. They were about to go on tour and Ry Cooder was sent by the label, said, go to the Fender factory. I think it was in Fullerton, California back in the 60s.
Corona or I think it was in Fullerton. Now
I think then it was there. So they told Ry Cooder, go there and just pick out whatever guitar you want. It'll be on our dime. I mean, of course, if you know record company business, it's on our dime means we're going to deduct it from anything you make. So, you're not going to get any money until you pay for that guitar, you pay for the limo, you pay for the recording. That's just the record music business. But he went out and bought that great Stratocaster that I think he brought to an auto body shop and had that really kind of turquoise blue. I got to show you this because you're a guitar player. You will appreciate.
Unfortunately.
Not unfortunately.
I just like saying.
It's unfortunate.
I just like saying Cooter.
That's what
But
she
this
said.
is the Strat. I know. We're going there. This guitar, he brought it to an auto body shop. That's an auto body, LA auto body paint
job.
color, paint
It's a
job.
very beautiful blue.
Right?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful blue. Anyway, I'm going to show this. Promo copy I got from Warner Brothers, Shiny Beast. Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band. This is the Virgin Records bat chain puller. Dock at the radar station. And then a box set of Sun Zoom Spark 1970-72.
Oh my god.
Great artist. I actually saw him once at one of his art shows. He was a painter too, but that's it
It's a
for
great
that.
painting.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, you got it.
Zach's gonna pull one more. We're all gonna pull one more round, then we're gonna close out.
Okay. I pulled 2.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
no. I mean, one more round. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So go
you can
talk.
pick 5 records.
Okay. Well, I pulled this Beck Midnight Vultures because it reminds me of being on tour and driving through the long drive from Albuquerque to Austin, Texas with a massive hangover. And I was with 4 of the 5 of my bandmates. And the singer had flown to meet us because he could do that, which is really cool when you abandon your band like that. But the drive was just horrendous. It's like a 14-hour drive or something. I'm probably being hyperbolic, but maybe not. But West Texas is like an awful place to drive through. No offense. It's just really boring. And I was in and out of sleep, and I kept like waking up, and this record would just be on and on and on. And it was like, I met her at JCPenney, and like, it haunted me for years. But it's a great record. And then I picked up Dennis Wilson. Honestly, some of the songs on this record I could do without, but it's great because there's so much pain in this record. I mean, look at that face. You can just tell how sad he is. You're seeing a theme here. But, like, I love this photograph, and I love that you have the rest of his torso with the photograph.
You can take it out.
I've been wanting
We're allowed to.
I've been wanting to buy this record for a while, actually, and I've been casually looking for it.
It's a promo copy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
See, it's a demonstration.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm a big fan of, like, the Pacific Ocean, obviously. To call your record Pacific Ocean Blue is pretty beautiful.
How ironic that he drowned.
I know. And he was apparently, they found a picture of his ex-wife, I think it was. I might be, in Marina Del Rey, right where he drowned.
The only
guy, though.
Beach Boy who actually surfed.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another reason that I love him.
You surf, right?
I do. I'm not very good.
Yeah.
And I haven't surfed.
I
in
surf,
about a
but I
month.
don't surf in the ocean.
Yeah, that's fair. That you surf the inner
In the intergalactic of my own mind.
Yeah.
What I love about this record, there's probably very expensive editions on vinyl from the 90s. That was a period of time when people weren't buying records, so they can tend to be very expensive. They have not issued this yet. I love this record. This is a funky. I remember my son was like 8 or 9, or maybe he was 10. What year did this come out? Do you remember?
I think it might be
90s?
It might be early 2000s.
My fucking glasses.
me see.
99.
Oh.
Okay, my son was 9 years old. But what I like to say about this album is it's the best Prince album Prince never made, right? Deborah! Ha, ha.
Yeah.
Right? Is that on this album? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to step to you.
Whatever.
And your sister, I think her name was Deborah.
We can do it a cappella.
Sorry, I'm preserving my voice today.
Oh, he's gonna record. You recording tonight?
Yeah, well, yeah.
A fucking artist. They like record all night.
I mean, I'll record as long as my voice lasts. It's on its dying.
So is
This record could be coming out later.
Is this record your masterpiece? Is this your Sgt. Pepper, or your?
It's our first LP, but I mean, I think it's some of the best music I've written. I guess.
Are you doing Kickstarters or just selling it?
No, we'll record it, master it, and then shop it to some labels. Capture tracks. I'm
Now,
looking at you.
can I do a request, Zach? This is on video, so this is like when the record comes out, you have to come back again, and we need to do a whack-a-mole and
Absolutely.
showcase the record. Can we play a little bit of it, maybe?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to get copyright blocked.
No,
Okay.
I mean,
Maybe I hope I like it.
yeah, I hope so too. I hope you and like maybe more than
Everybody
5
likes
people
it.
like it.
Definitely.
Maybe 10.
All right.
More
We'll
than
see.
that.
We'll see.
More than that.
It's an acquired taste, is what I've been told.
I don't know about that. Your writing's pretty good.
Thanks. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right.
I haven't heard this,
I'll take that.
so
Yeah.
What is it?
No, I haven't heard
Oh, you
his
haven't heard
new
it.
record, so I can't speak to it specifically.
This record's
Obviously,
so beautiful.
I don't want to,
This is so beautiful.
mislead the VC.
Isn't it great?
Oh.
I pulled Ian Hunter, which I am sure everyone knows, but maybe not. And quite frankly, if you don't have an Ian Hunter album, you are freaking missing out.
Mott the Hoople.
Mott the Hoople. These two records are staples that I play a lot in my collection. And that lots of people know his songs because they've been covered. Which apparently is the theme for me today. Once Bitten, Twice Shy. Everybody knows that song. Who Do You Love? Let's see. That's probably the two best known songs on that record. On the other one, this one, You're Never Alone with a Schizophrenic, which is a great title for an album, by the way.
True, right?
And totally true. Let's see. Cleveland Rocks. Great.
Oh yeah.
And there was another version of that called, was it London Rocks? Or he did two versions of it. I forgot the other one. London, maybe?
When the Daylight Comes, that's a great song. Bastard. The Outsider. Just Another Night. Wild East. Ships. Life After Death. Standing in My Light. There's a ton of great songs on these. Back to this one, the self-titled, got, in addition to Once Bitten, Twice Shy, and Who Do You Love, Lounge Lizard, Boy, 3,000 Miles From Here, The Truth, The Whole Truth, Nothing But the Truth, It Ain't Easy When You Fall, Shades Off, and I Get So Excited. All of these are great freaking songs. If for some reason you lack either of these in your collection, highly recommend it.
My closeout record is Brer Soul by Melvin Van Peebles. Now, artist, filmmaker, did he make Watermelon Man? I forgot. His son is Mario Van Peebles,
Yeah.
who's an actor. You know his work. If you don't know, you should research it. This record, my buddy Larry, who is not Larry from what's the weird Wildman Fisher. But this album, Larry turned me on to when it came out. I'm thinking 1970, 71. This was around the time when the first Shaft film came out. You know, Shaft by Gordon Parks with the real Shaft, not the fucking poser Shafts that are coming out now. But there's a song on this album. Oh, I love this song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
This is
Slade. Or wait,
No.
oh my god. Wow.
the records.
No,
No?
it's oh my god, Shakespeare.
Can you hear this?
Is
Can you hear this in the background?
oh, this is embarrassing.
It's a punk comp CD, UK comp.
yeah. This is oh my god. Why can't I think?
The Motors? No.
No. Flaming Groovies.
Oh, Flaming.
Yeah.
Okay, Flaming Groovies. Okay, I want to do a little
can't
toast to
believe I
Flaming
forgot.
Groovies because I don't know if you know. Do you like the Flaming Groovies?
I do.
Okay, they did these three. This is from their 3 album on Sire Records later on. They started out, and one of the guys in the band who just passed away this year is Roy Loney. And I used to go, Roy Loney, and I didn't know the Flaming Groovies when I was a kid originally. They played the Fillmore, and they were unlikely San Francisco band because the San Francisco bands,
San Francisco band.
they were
That
San
makes
Francisco,
sense.
they were San Francisco bands, but everyone was doing psychedelic shit, and they were doing like retro stuff at the time. It was almost like they were into Gene Vincent and that kind of rockabilly stuff. And the San Francisco psychedelic bands in the 60s weren't not into that, really. They would do slow, moody versions like The Dead, the Jefferson Airplane, Quicksilver, Moby Grape, that kind of stuff. But they put out a couple records on, it was a Kama Sutra Records, but Roy Loney worked at the store in a mall by San Francisco State College called Portals of Music. I bought my very first copy of Tommy by The Who, and he goes, oh, this is the great, you got to buy this record. This was in 1969, I think, and it was the only time I went to the Fillmore West to see The Who, and the Woody Herman Big Band opened up for The Who, which is kind of bizarre. But 10 years later, 1978, I worked with Roy Loney at ABC Records, and he started a band called Roy Loney and the Phantom Movers, and did some kind of records on indie records in San Francisco and Solid Smoke Records. I diverse, but people like to hear fucking stories, so I'm telling the story again.
Stories
but
are great.
the song on this record is called "Lily Done the Zampoogie Every Time I Pull Her Coattails." This is a fucking great song. I want you all now to. It's horrible?
It's a terrible title.
God, I dig it.
This is 1971. This is like 1970, 71. Lily does the Zampoogie every time I pull her coattail. This is funky soul. This is Brer soul. Give me a break, you kids today.
What?
I liked it.
You like the song?
Oh, it's great. Mirror, mirror on the wall, the coolest place in town. You can get up before noon without being a square. Come on, that's a great song
That's a
title.
great song title.
I get up at 5. So I'm definitely
Sarah,
not
Sarah, Jim, come raising your leg on me. Okay, we're gonna stop there. And it says free Huey. You know Huey. It's not. We're not talking about Huey Lewis there. This is Huey.
Baby Huey.
Huey Newton.
Oh.
Huey, not Huey. Yeah. Who's the black revolutionary?
Yeah.
Huey Newton. Huey Newton. Not
Okay.
Huey Lewis. And not Huey,
sorry.
Dewey, Louie, and Gooey from the Donald Duck stuff.
Yeah. Or
No, we're talking shit now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We
Huh?
come together here. We need to do one like little shot that's going to be the thumbnail. Look right there. Okay. Thanks, Fauna community. We love
Thank
you.
you.
And Zache, our guest,
nice to meet you all.
Amanda, the archivist. It's fun. Take care.
Bye.